Hello guys, this is Ghost Host, and I'm doing a review of the Marvel Legends Sandman Wave, Green Goblin, and the Hobgoblin Build-A-Figure Wave, Pizza Spider-Man. I think you've all heard of him. I'm just gonna get right to it. I'm not even gonna look at the accessories first. Let's just start rambling about some figures. The Pizza Spider-Man I picked up a few years ago at Toys R Us. And I didn't have a classic Spider-Man, so I picked him up. All I had at that time was the Amazing Spider-Man figure, which I can't find right now. I totally forgot to grab figures for reference. Alright, I'm back. I got some figures for reference, but again, let's talk about the Spider-Man. First and foremost criticisms, it's a pretty scrawny figure. I'd say this body would be better suited for the Human Torch, Mr. Fantastic, probably more so. This would work as probably a Ditko Spider-Man, but we've yet to get a classic first appearance Spider-Man from Hasbro. As you can see, I tried to repaint the eyes and the top of the head. It didn't work out. Also, his accessories, the pizza and the unmasked head. I do not have those anymore. I was really young when I got this figure, and these are the only things that are left of poor Spidey. There's a lot of paint rub, and honestly, for a figure that you would pose around as much as a Spider-Man figure, I think they should really take measures to prevent paint rub. But I mean, it's fine. He came with a Build-A-Figure piece for the Green Goblin and the Hobgoblin, and a pumpkin bomb. I lost that pumpkin bomb as soon as I opened the packaging. It was an orange pumpkin bomb that fell into my orange carpet. So, never got that back. You see lots of paint rub everywhere. I wanted to review Spider-Man and Green Goblin right now because the new Spider-Man and Green Goblin are coming out. So I just wanted to talk about them and then do a comparison when I get those in September. I'll try and do a video as early as I can about those. It's got a very long torso and also very long pelvis. I think that's kind of weird, but it's a decent body mold. They made an entirely new body mold for this figure, which I appreciate from Hasbro. There's not much I can say about him. It's just a basic Spider-Man figure. If I had the pizza and the extra head, I'd have a lot more to talk about. He was pretty cheap. I think I got him for $18 to $20 at Toys R Us, like a week after he came out. Ever since then, he's just been sitting on my Spider-Man shelf. You know, I've been collecting a lot of Spider-Man figures. I have the Spider-Man Classics, Spidey, the black costume Spider-Man. Yeah, I have a lot of Spider-Man, so really he's just another Spider-Man. He's not the top piece in my collection. I don't really have a favorite Spider-Man figure, but when I get the new one, I probably will. I guess let's talk about the Green Goblin. He's the more interesting of the two. Well, actually, I do have a few things to say more about the Spider-Man. Before the Pizza Spider-Man, people kept on singing the praises of the Spider-Man Classics, Superposable Spider-Man, aka also known as the McFarlane Spider-Man. I know they credit another artist for it too, but it's always going to be McFarlane Spider-Man to me. It was considered the best Spider-Man figure, best sculpt and everything, until this guy came out. And everyone said, oh, he's got great sculpt, he's got butterfly joints, and people started oozing over this figure. I didn't really like it from the start. It was a Spider-Man figure. So, I mean, I had to have it. I've cooled down on buying every Spider-Man figure in sight, though. Especially with all the new Spider-Man figures they've made. I've been just picking out the ones I wanted the most, and then getting those. I've been more focusing on villains right now, because I realize I have a lot more superheroes than villains. So that's why, for my birthday, I just picked a whole bunch of villains. Those being Electro, Mysterio, Vulture, and Scorpion, which I will be reviewing when I get those after the 14th, because that's my birthday. Yeah, I'm going to make a special video for my birthday on the 14th, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, as soon as the new figure was announced, people kept on saying that this figure would be dethroned as the best Spider-Man figure, and I think rightfully so. He's not the best Spider-Man figure. I still think the McFarlane one is way better. But if you want a classic Spider-Man in the Hasbro style, I suggest you get this one, or the repaint for the Retro series, which I don't have. I might pick it up, though, just to have another one of this figure with good paint. Because the Pizza Spider-Man is worth like $100 on Amazon, and I can't even find it on eBay. So, I think this is the first Hasbro Green Goblin. He's a really good figure, I'm not gonna lie. Great body mold. I think the body mold was first used for Dread Knight in the SDCC exclusive Raft box set. And then it was used for the Black Knight, and then Green Goblin, and then Cobra, which I will be talking about more later. I've noticed something really odd about this body mold is that the legs tend to break. I've had to glue on both of his legs, and Cobra, I had to glue on his legs. I accidentally got acetone on his legs, though, and now they're covered in white gunk. So I kind of, ruined my figure. But the Green Goblin, he's got a darker color scheme than I would have preferred. I prefer more of a classic goofy Green Goblin. The ears came bent in the packaging. I haven't gotten to using a blow dryer to fix it. I glued the satchel on because I just really hated it being too loose. So it's glued on right at the shoulder. I'm probably not going to glue the new one's satchel. I do like the metallic for the scales, though. And it really feels like he's just a Bucky Cap body mold, but with scales and everything. Because it has the same proportions and body type as the Bucky Cap mold. But I think it's fine for the Green Goblin. They should, although I was hoping they'd make a new Green Goblin body mold for the classic figure. Or if they make a 90s Harry Osborn Green Goblin, I suggest they make a scrawnier body mold because he wasn't as muscular as the original Green Goblin. So I definitely think they should do a different body mold. Also, new head sculpt. The one with the big bulbous eyes I do like, but it's still a little jarring to look at. There's a lot of good art from the 90s that they could have based a figure off of. Or good classic art they could have based a figure's face off of. So they went with this piercing yellow eyes with, it's weird. I always liked the hood that he has on. I would definitely reshape this, though, if I used a hairdryer on it, just to see what else I could do with it. The gloves I don't like, but they are spot on to the comics, so I can't complain there. He's got good articulation, definitely holds up with other figures. I had to glue on his hand because it was too loose and I kept on losing it. So yeah, I had to... every single figure with this body mold I had to glue in some place. Overall, the articulation's really great. And there's only one gripe I have about this figure besides its color. And it's the glider. It is so warped so bent, so weird shaped. Also, they seriously went with this design for a glider, and then they reused it for the new Green Goblin. There's so many cooler glider designs. I could have gone with his first glider, his broomstick. It wasn't really broomstick, but that's what it was called. It was just a rocket that he sat on. They could have done that. I might make a custom broomstick for the Green Goblin, though. I'm probably going to use the Hawkeye quiver for it, because I'm planning to get a new Hawkeye with a new quiver, so I'm probably just going to use the old one. Yeah, this glider is, well, the 90s glider that Harry Osborn had, but I hate it. They could have maybe did it like where it's bent down here, like the classic glider. They could have done like the Toy Biz glider, and instead they chose this design, probably the worst design for a Goblin glider. I would have preferred the movie glider for this figure than this one. And they reused the glider for the new Green Goblin, although with this filled in and with a peg hole. So that's cool. I guess you have to heat up the peg hole to put in the flight stand for the Demi-Goblin, though. Yeah, I'm probably not going to buy the White Rabbit figure just to get that glider and the flight stand, though. I might just buy one of the Star Wars figures that has it, because the Star Wars figures also have that flight stand for their pods or whatever. Oh no, my dad collects it. My dad collects that one, not me. I do like the gold paint on the buckle and stuff, although for the buckle I would have preferred a pumpkin-shaped buckle. And it's the same satchel they always used for the Mary Jane and the Hobgoblin, but it's still very cool. It comes with a pumpkin bomb. The paint wasn't done very well. They should have done more coats. I don't really like the pumpkin bomb. The fire gets in the way of him holding it a lot. I'd probably choose a different pumpkin bomb, but the new 90s or classic style Green Goblin figure will come with the same exact pumpkin bomb with the same exact colors. So I know at least I'll have 2 identical pumpkin bombs, so that the Green Goblin can dual wield them. He fits on his glider well. There's never a hassle putting him on it. Although I would have preferred if these little foot holders would be positioned further back so his toes aren't sticking out of the front. Yeah, otherwise it's a pretty good figure. I'd definitely rank it higher than the Pizza Spider-Man in terms of a Marvel Legend. And you see a lot of differences with each use of this figure. With the parts they used, they did something really clever where they made it so you can interchange gloves and hands on the side. So you could have these types of gloves, gauntlets, and they all have interesting belts and color schemes. And oh no, King Cobra's, I didn't even notice that. The cobra on his hat's gone. I'll have to look for that. Yeah, in terms of these figures, I'd have to give the Green Goblin an 8 out of 10, Pizza Spider-Man 6 out of 10. They're probably going to do much, much better with the new Spider-Man. I can't wait for it to arrive in September. And then in November I can have a complete Sinister Six when I get Mysterio, and hopefully I'll have a Sandman by then. Because we still haven't gotten a good Sandman figure from either company. Well, Toy Biz gave us a decent one. Yeah, that's my review of the Pizza Spider-Man and Green Goblin figures, because they will be replaced by the new ones pretty soon. Oh, nope, camera fell. Also, there's him side by side with Venom. Yeah. Alright, well that's all I have to say about these figures. They're decent. definitely the Green Goblin's better than the Spider-Man. But thank you. Have a wonderful day.